Welcome back to IFAC's #1 stop to entertainment and trending news. Now, there's a very interesting conversation that is happening across all social media platforms, and that is the passport bros. For those who might not be conversant with what passport bros are, they're basically men who have chosen to seek out foreign women, typically from other countries, for relationships. They also tend to state that the Western women are too masculine, they lack the feminine energy, so they're looking for women who are submissive, family oriented. Nothing wrong with that. For the most part, most of them have been traveling to Asian countries. Right now, they are advocating more that the passport bros need to move to Africa. There's absolutely nothing wrong with someone moving to another country if they feel less appreciated from where they come from. What really are your intentions? Are you taking advantage of these women because perhaps you are better placed financially? So the men are saying that the family dynamic in the United States is messed up. The law is on the women's side. They're talking about child support. But the big question, are you running away from America, not wanting to pay child support, coming to Africa to impregnate African women just because the laws are not stricter, forcing you to pay up when it comes to your child? And that is one of the things that I am seeing right now. Are passport bros really a problem? Should African women be cautious when it comes to these passport bros? And I'm going to share with you a comment from one of these passport bros groups. It is very understandable when someone has visited Africa or perhaps Asian countries and they feel that the quality of life there is much better. I can attest that living in a Western world can be very fast-paced. It can be a rat race. The quality of life in the Western world, perhaps compared to Africa, is totally different. That it is socially, in terms of community, family, quality food, that is less processed food here. If someone is making some good amount of money and they're comfortable, Africa is the best place to be. The problem is when people are coming to Africa, to African women with the "we are better" mentality, we are coming to make your life better, you are not up to much with the American woman in terms of you are less educated, you can take anything so long as I have money. And this was a comment from the passport bro groups. Passport bros out here solving global poverty. Most of these men are not coming to Africa because they want a better quality life and to start a family, people perhaps with family values. So as many African women are pissed off with the African bros talking down on them, they are saying that these men are going to Africa because the women there are less educated. They are not coming to Africa with good intentions for those women. It is because they are less of us. And that is where I find the problem, because being in Africa doesn't mean that women there are less educated or the women in Africa are pushovers. Have a listen at this.
We are not upset. We're amused and we find it very funny because a lot of the men leaving the US to find their wife abroad, they're only doing so because they believe women in the US have standards that are too high. So they're going abroad because they believe that the cultural and language barriers will allow them to find a wife that's easy to manipulate, to control, to lie to, and that your standards are going to be lower than ours.
So that is the reason why many African American women believe the passport bros are migrating to other countries, because women from non-westernized countries basically are less of them. They can't be manipulated, they're less educated, they have language barriers, they are women with less standards. And I got a reaction from someone who a man was complaining that he did not think that African women are materialistic in terms of expecting so much of them. And I think this is where these passport pros do not understand that just because you're coming to Africa, a lot is also expected of you. Here it is more community based. So if you think you're running away from the US because a woman was expecting you to do 1, 2, 3, well, welcome to Africa, where there are things like bride price. Have you ever heard of the black tax? Elderly here mostly taken care of by the family member. Someone is sick, we are contributing. Somebody is going to school, we are contributing. If your wife tells you that she needs some help at home, are you ready to step up to the plate? Because when you're marrying her family too. So perhaps those are some of the realities that these passport bros need to know. It doesn't happen everywhere, but it happens.
Let me tell you what he meant. What he meant was, I got a passport, flew hundreds of thousands of miles away from the US to scam a woman into marrying me for free. Because American women, they're asking for too much. They're so fussy. They're not happy with anything. Surprise! You're in a country that asks more of you. You're trying to marry into a culture that says you pay for all of it. You could have been at home with a dusty Sally that was gonna go 50% with you on a baby. Now look at you, down bad.
So if you're running from America because you don't want to split the bills, you want a submissive woman who will cook and do everything, be a wife, take care of the children. Because to be honest, in my opinion, I believe any woman can submit to a man that is worth submitting to. So are you coming to Africa as a better man, or you're still coming to Africa with your American culture to exploit an African woman because you think she's submissive, she's able to tolerate anything? So that you know how serious this passport bro movement is, they're even advising each other on what to expect. If a woman says that she wants to work, then that is a gold digger. You want a woman who is saying, I'm ready to be a wife, I'm ready to stay at home, I'm ready to have children, and I'll not be working.
How to become a successful passport bro. Now, I got me a beautiful Ethiopian queen. I can teach you how to get one. Now, I don't know about Brazil or Philippines or Thailand, but I do know about Africa. Okay, this is how you do it. The first step, you get on afrointroductions.com. You register for afrointroductions.com. You get your nice profile. Make sure you're marriage-minded. Make sure you're traditional, because these women like traditional marriage-minded men. Okay? Avoid West African countries, because West African women are very similar to Black American women. They run a lot of scams, they play games, a lot of them are narcissists, and many of them have bad moral character. So get you an East African woman, such as Ethiopia and Uganda, places like that, okay? Rwanda, all right, go for those countries. So you can choose the country that you want to search for, and all those women will pop up from that country, okay? Now, if you want to avoid the women who just want to use you for a green card, you look for a housewife, okay? Look for a woman who wants to be a housewife, okay? Ask her if she wants to be a housewife or she wants to work. If she wants to work, it means she's more likely a feminist, and there are less feminists there. There are some, but there's far few in between. If she wants to be a housewife, if she dreams of being a housewife, and she's want to have a family, right? That's a good sign. But if she's a working woman, it means she's probably just out for selfishness, and she may want to just use you to get to America to make more money. But if she wants to come to America to be a housewife and serve you and make babies, one thing is important. If she really wants to have babies, if she's dying to get pregnant, if she's dying to be a wife, and all she wants to do is be a wife and have kids and start a family. See, these women look for men with money, not to use them, but they figured they can submit to a man with money because he can take care of them, because they need a man with money so they can focus on their children. Right? So their main thing is to raise children, to have a family. So they want to serve their husband and have a family. That's their goals.
And you've got that. They want a woman to serve them and to make babies. I don't know how that sounds to you guys. If you want a woman who serves you and makes babies and you take care of her and do everything and she doesn't have to work, I'm sure there are enough women in the US ready to stay at home. But the thing is, even women back in Africa, the level of independence might be different, but even if you go to Maasai land, the Maasai women, they are doing something. They might be bidding. The little money that they get, it's not to take care of the family. The man still plays his role as a provider, but a woman has not been put down that you're not supposed to do anything. Your work is to serve me and to make babies. And through that conversation, I came across this comment: if you want a wife, ask yourself first, are you a husband? Don't just put all of this on women. You as a man, do the inner work to attract what you want. If you want her to stay at home and serve you and make babies, as you are putting it, does it mean that you will be providing 100%? Of course, he has mentioned that you have to be the traditional man. Will you be ensuring that she also looks good? Will you also be giving her an allowance? Perhaps she wants to buy a few things, or a woman is going to be reduced even when she needs things for her feminine hygiene. She has to ask you for money, because this is what I find really, really dangerous. It is better to suffer in your country and get out in your country than suffer in a foreign land. We have covered a couple of stories here of women who have gone abroad and they have been financially, emotionally, physically abused, and they don't know what to do. And during my research, I also came across a video of an Asian woman who is married to a Black American, and she is not even allowed to have a bank account. She keeps complaining she's on phone, and she says that you don't allow me to do anything, you don't want me to work. And someone actually said this: ain't nothing wrong with letting a man help with providing for you, but a woman still needs her own life and some independence. And I'm sorry, but some of these Black men get women of other races and want women to be traditional or like the women back in the day, but they ain't willing to take care of her financially like men of the past. They still had their faults, but at least they provided for her and the family. And this is what I was talking about, the black tax. You come as an American dating an African woman and thinking that it's just you and her. Sometimes you're marrying the whole family. Now that you have her as a stay-at-home wife and she's serving you, as you're putting it, and giving birth, when her mom is sick and she's in hospital, she wants to take care of her mom and money is needed. And you should be prepared to take care of that as well. And that is the harsh reality of Africa and some Asian countries. When you go to visit your parents, you don't go with flowers and bottle of wine. Your wife is visiting her mom, she's going there with food. She's doing shopping for the house, she's buying veggies, fruits. So that is something that you need to be prepared for. Food in Africa has more value than a box of chocolates or flowers or a bottle of wine. So I think these passport bros need to know that you are marrying into a different culture. Now, this was actually shared by an African American woman. It's actually sad. They would rather provide for a woman that doesn't even like them and only wants him for what he provides, while judging women in America who look like his mother, melanated, but judging her because she has been forced to be her own provider. Not to mention, they are only choosing this route because it requires less effort. So those men rather take the route of being used by an outsider than be with a woman who makes him elevate. Someone else shared, because some men need women who don't challenge them and are easier to mold, manipulate, flexing with women from third world countries because they have a limited scope and are just grateful for anything because it's better than what they had. Plus, she's doing it because the whole family relying on her. And this is also where I had a problem with this discussion, is that they see African women as very easy to be manipulated, less educated, all this I had mentioned earlier. African women are grateful for anything, and that's where it's really sad how they see African women, also including the American women who are being left by these passport bros. It almost seems like the same way the African American women are thinking about African women is the same way this African American men, the passport bros, are seeing African women. And let's not talk about the ones who are not coming with the intention to marry, but traveling around different countries, sleeping with women, some leaving their seats behind. And that is what many are saying. African women need to be very careful of some of these passport bros. Some of them are not coming with good intention. They will make you think that they want something serious with you, but that's not the case. They are also saying that in the US there are lots of black baby mamas. The black women there are not high value. Those black women there are the same women that you guys impregnated. So coming to Africa and doing the same thing that you are doing back there in the US. African ladies, it's being advised that you need to be very careful with some of these passport bros. I found this comment very interesting from an African American man, and he says, we as black men shouldn't turn away from our women when we turned them into us, made them masculinized by not providing the safety and security a man is supposed to provide the family. There's no such thing as a no good woman. Every no good woman was made by a no good man, whether the father, uncle, brother, boyfriend, husband, etc. We need to resolve the root problems at the core of our dysfunctional family relationships as black melanated sisters and brothers in God's eyes. And I think this brings us to the statement that I said earlier. Are you willing to step up? If you really are looking for a woman who is feminine, with family values, submissive, are you going to step up as a man of the house? The culture in the US has led the women to work as hard as the men. If you're not doing the things that he is stating here, providing the safety and security a man is supposed to provide the family, the things that you're not able to do in the United States and coming back to Africa to do the same things that you're doing there, and expecting different results, that is a submissive woman who is serving you and giving you children, then I think you will be very disappointed.
Okay, so for these passport bros, I got something to say. If you haven't heard of them, I mean, where have you been, right? I haven't seen the videos, but I've still heard of them. But essentially, a bunch of old rickety African-American men are deeming American women unfit for marriage, and so they're going overseas to find women, particularly African women, who I think their ringleader has deemed the most marriageable. And his reasoning is that they are more feminine and they were groomed to be wives. We have also a lot of our African sisters who have been liberated, who are standing up to speak about the unconscionable levels of abuse that African women endure for the sake of holding on to marriages on a daily basis. So when a passport bro says that an African woman is more feminine and better marriage material, what he's saying is that he will be able to do whatever evil thing comes to his mind and expect that there will be no accountability. How insulting.
I just saw a tweet of a man encouraging other men to go overseas to find wives because it's too difficult to find one in America. And what I found mind-boggling about the tweet is that there's still countries today where men have to have land in order to get a wife. A man has to prove to a woman's family he has land, a house, assets, he's financially stable to even get a chance at marriage, a chance at the woman. And then in our country, women tell men, oh, hey, can you maybe not text me at 10:30 p.m. on a Tuesday night to come over? Can you plan a date with me? Can you maybe bring flowers on the first date? Can you court me? And the men go, this is too much. We're going overseas. We're going overseas. You know what, sir? Good luck finding a woman overseas who's going to come back to this country and work to help pay your one-bedroom rent. Good luck. Because guess what? The women overseas, they want full providers and usually green cards. Good for them. They might not even like you. They just want a green card and they want you to provide. Go offices. In our country, which by the way is the melting pot of the world, you can find anyone and everything here. It's a country of over 150 million women and you can't find one. The women here, some of them work. They don't even want full providers. They just want you to be nice, kind, thoughtful, put in a little bit of effort. If that's too much for you, if you're unable to find your girl in this country with over 150 million women, maybe you're the problem.
So what are your thoughts on this passport bros? Do you think that it can be a problem, or you see absolutely nothing wrong with it? I don't think it's wrong for a passport bro to come to Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, West Africa, whatever the country they choose. But it's better you come with good intentions. Perhaps you want to start a family, you want quality life. So long as you are not treating the African women here badly, just because you think that they are less valuable, that you want to use them. As some have stated, these are women that you can easily manipulate. Because if you are coming here with the intention of using the women here just because you can pay up, you are not far from the masters that treated your ancestors badly. Only different is that you are paying up, treating the African women badly because you feel you are better than them. Then it's better you just stay back there in the United States and do not come and destroy the family values that are very important back here in Africa. Anyway, that's it. You are up to date. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to be notified once you have any new uploads. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.